In the heart of a bustling Lagos market, a young girl named Amora dreamed not of marriage, but of books and skyscrapers. She was only 10, but her spirit was as bright as the midday sun. Her laughter, a melody that filled their small compound, was a constant source of irritation for her uncle, Adekono. After her parents' tragic passing, Amora and her younger brother, Chidi, were left in his care. To Adekono, Amora was just another mouth to feed, a burden he was eager to shed. One sweltering afternoon, a wealthy trader, a man known for his harshness, visited their home. His eyes, cold and assessing, lingered on Amora. Adekono, seeing an opportunity, didn't hesitate. He pulled the man aside, their whispers a venomous secret. That evening, as Amora served her uncle his meal, he announced her fate with a chilling finality. "You will be going with Chief Okoro," he said, avoiding her gaze. "You will work in his house. It is for the best." Tears streamed down Amora's face. She begged, she pleaded, clinging to her little brother Chidi, who cried along with her, not fully understanding but sensing the deep sorrow. Her pleas fell on deaf ears. The next morning, she was handed a small bag with a change of clothes and pushed into Chief Okoro's car. As the vehicle sped away, the image of Chidi, his small hand waving frantically, was seared into her memory. She was just a child, sold for a sum she would never know, her dreams packed away with her tattered belongings. Life in Chief Okoro's mansion was a nightmare. Amora was no longer a child, she was a servant. From dawn till dusk, she toiled, her small hands scrubbing floors, washing clothes, and catering to the whims of the chief's cruel family. The slightest mistake earned her a harsh word or a painful slap. Yet, in the darkest corners of her lonely existence, a tiny flame of defiance flickered. The head cook, a kind woman named Mama Bose, saw the spark in Amora's eyes. She saw the girl secretly tracing letters in the dust and mouthing words from discarded newspapers. Recognizing a spirit that refused to be broken, Mama Bose took Amora under her wing. Late at night, when the great house was silent, she would teach Amora to read and write by candlelight. She would tell her stories of powerful women who had overcome great odds. "Your mind, my child," Mama Bose would whisper, "is the one thing they can never truly own. Nurture it." These secret lessons became Amora's lifeline, her only escape. She devoured every scrap of knowledge, her hunger for learning growing more intense with each passing day. She promised herself that one day, she would be free. One day, she would find her brother. Years passed. Amora blossomed from a frightened girl into a determined young woman. Her intelligence, once a secret, began to shine through. She was quick with numbers, organized, and resourceful. Chief Okoro, noticing her efficiency, moved her from the kitchen to help him with his market stalls. It was here that Amora's true potential began to unfold. She learned the art of trade, negotiation, and finance, absorbing every detail like a sponge. She saw how money moved, how empires were built, and how power was wielded. One rainy evening, Amora overheard a conversation not meant for her ears. Chief Okoro was in deep financial trouble, on the verge of losing everything. An idea, bold and terrifying, took root in her mind. She had been saving every tiny naira she could, a secret stash hidden away for her escape. Now, she saw a different path. She approached Chief Okoro, her heart pounding, and presented a daring business proposal to save one of his failing ventures. Skeptical but desperate, he gave her a chance. It was the biggest gamble of her life. Amora poured all her energy, her wit, and her secret knowledge into the project. She worked tirelessly, making connections, finding new suppliers, and revamping the business model. To everyone's astonishment, the venture didn't just survive, it thrived. Profits soared. Impressed and indebted, Chief Okoro began to see her not as a servant, but as an asset. Over the next few years, Amora's influence grew. She proposed more ideas, managed more of his businesses, and quietly, strategically, began building her own network and wealth. The girl who was sold for a pittance was now a formidable businesswoman. Finally, the day came. Amora was no longer a servant but a partner. And eventually, she bought out Chief Okoro entirely, her name now synonymous with success in the Lagos business community. She was the CEO of a sprawling conglomerate, the very empire she had helped build from its ashes. But wealth was not her ultimate goal. There was a void in her heart that only one thing could fill: finding Chidi. She hired the best private investigators money could buy. For months, they searched. Then, she got the call. They had found him. He was a struggling mechanic, working in a small, greasy workshop on the outskirts of the city, not far from where they grew up. He was married, with a son. Amora's heart ached with a mixture of joy and sorrow. He had a life, a family, but it was a life of hardship. The next day, a sleek, black car pulled up to the old family compound. A woman, elegant and poised in a tailored suit, stepped out. It was Amora. Adekono, now old and frail, stared at her, his eyes wide with disbelief. He and his family had fallen on hard times, their fortunes dwindling over the years. They looked at her expensive car, her confident posture, and the aura of power that surrounded her. They didn't recognize the little girl they had cast away. "Uncle," Amora said, her voice steady and clear, devoid of the tremor she felt inside. Recognition dawned on his face, followed by shame and fear. "It's Amora." The name hung in the air. The family gathered, their faces a mixture of shock and greed. They saw her wealth, not the pain in her eyes. They began to flatter her, to praise her, to remind her that they were family. Amora let them talk. Then, she held up a hand, silencing them. "I did not come here for a reunion," she stated coldly. "I came here for my brother." Just then, another car arrived. Chidi stepped out, his expression confused. He looked at the mansion-like car, then at the powerful woman standing before his old home. His eyes met Amora's. For a moment, there was silence. Then, a flicker of recognition. "Amora," he whispered, his voice cracking with emotion. Tears she had held back for 25 years finally fell. She ran to him, and they embraced, a brother and sister torn apart by cruelty, now reunited by love and perseverance. Amora turned back to her stunned relatives. "My company has just acquired the land this entire district is built on," she announced, her voice resonating with authority. "You will all be evicted. But because this man," she said, gesturing to Chidi, "is my blood, I will not see his family on the street." She offered Chidi a new life, a beautiful home, the best education for his son, and a senior position managing the logistics for her entire compound. He looked at her, tears of gratitude in his eyes, and accepted. To Adekono and the rest, she offered nothing but the consequences of their actions. She turned her back on them, taking her brother's hand, and walked away from the past, not with hatred, but with the quiet victory of a survivor. Her journey was a testament that you can't bury a seed and not expect it to grow. Amora, the girl who was sold, had returned, not for revenge, but to reclaim her family and her future, proving that the greatest success is rising above the ashes of your past. Thank you so much for watching. The story of Amora is a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit. If you were inspired by her journey, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next story. See you in the next video.